And it's always a pleasure to have a chat to our resident, if you will, our economist, Mr. Saul Eslake. Saul, good morning to you.
Good morning, Mike. Thanks for having me on the program again.
An absolute pleasure. Well, it's finally happened. The bells and whistles have all stopped. We can now read the result of... And what's your overall thoughts, shall we say, for the entire country? Then we'll delve into a little bit of Tasmanian.
Well, for the entire country, it's one of those rare occasions when what the government of the day thinks is politically advantageous is also, by and large, good economic policy. That is the right mix of things for the economic circumstances in which we find ourselves. And by that I mean that this could well be the last budget before the next election. And the election has to be held, I think, by about the 21st of May next year.
It'll be an early one though, Saul, won't it? This does sound like an election budget to me.
Well, yes, indeed. I mean, Mr. Morrison, the Prime Minister, has said that he's a, quote, full-term guy, unquote, that he doesn't want to go early. And, you know, he may draw mixed messages from what's happened down here to a Premier who went early. I guess, you know, probably he's got back with the majority he wants, but we won't know that for sure until maybe later this afternoon or tomorrow morning. But he certainly didn't increase his vote or his position in Parliament in the same way that premiers of Queensland and spectacularly Western Australia did when they were meant to go. But I mean, anyway, you know, it may well be the last budget before the next election. If it isn't, they'll have to pull it forward again to April like they did in 2019. So in those circumstances, you wouldn't expect a government to be cutting spending or raising taxes. You'd expect it to be doing the opposite, and that's what they've done. But also, as the Treasurer, I think, quite rightly said about 12 days ago, Australia, although it's done very well in coping with COVID-19, and we've done better than most economies in terms of having a shallower recession and recovering from it more quickly, we're just about the